We once again join Reverend Kent Hovind in his attempts to explain how it is impossible for anyone to know anything unless it is written in his paper god, the Bible. Throughout his video, he argued that no one knows the answers to how stars form, or how far away they are, what they are made out of, what light is, and how light propagates. Human knowledge answered some of these questions over 50 years ago. During my lifetime, the rest of those questions have been answered. I guess Reverend Hovind just never got the memo. When Reverend Hovind claims nobody knows the answers to these questions, he is lying. He feels compelled to lie because to accept the correct answers is to reject an extremely young age for the universe. Scientific discovery does not meet his occult superstitious beliefs. Therefore, he rejects those discoveries and insists everyone else should do the same. In summary, Reverend Hovind has based his argument against ancient light on the preposition that much of the scientific discoveries in the past 300 years are wrong, and that scientists working in astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics, chemistry, quantum mechanics, and many other scientific venues for the past 100 years and more are all not merely wrong, but radically and fundamentally incompetent and ignorant. He claims to believe that hundreds of thousands of scientists over the past century and more did not and do not know what the fuck they are doing. But he, a church preacher with no education past high school, does.
The entire principle or concept behind a black hole is the idea that light can be attracted by gravity.
Light is bent by gravity because mass curves space-time around it. Photons traveling in that bent space are still going in a straight line from their point of view. None of this has anything to do with Hovind's ancient light problem. He is evading the question.
Well, if light can be attracted by gravity, if black holes exist, which nobody's proven that either.
Nobody has proven that light exists. Nobody has proven that London exists. Science does not do proof. Scientists do not do proof. Science and scientists work with levels of confidence, not proof. They reject the impossible and the improbable and accept the most likely. The existence of black holes is a certainty due to the mathematics of stellar processes. Black holes must exist because the physics involved say they must. In fact, we know where several black holes are in the universe. We observe them by how their neighbors behave, and we observe them by the extremely energetic rays they emit. Cygnus X1 was known to be a black hole by the year 1971. None of this has anything to do with ancient light.
Well, if light can be attracted by gravity, the speed of light can't be a constant.
The speed of light is not a constant. Nobody said or says the speed of light is constant. Islamic natural philosophers well over 1,000 years ago showed light speed is not constant. The entire field of optics is predicated upon the speed of light not being constant. However, the speed of light through a vacuum is constant. One may slow down the speed of light by passing it through a semi-transparent medium, such as glass or water or atmosphere. One can even stop light if one has the equipment necessary. But in a vacuum, the speed of light remains a constant. What one cannot do is increase the speed of light. That is a mathematical impossibility.
Cambridge, and by the way, that's how science works. An experiment should be demonstratable, repeatable, testable. Evolution is none of those.
Evolution has nothing at all to do with the fact that we observe light from objects billions of light years away.
At Princeton University in the year 2000, they speeded light up to 300 times the speed of light.
Reverend Hovind is, of course, lying. The Princeton experiments confirm the fact that high-energy particles, not light, can exceed the speed of light in Earth's atmosphere and in water, producing the Cherenkov light flash. The light flash itself is not faster than light. Nothing can exceed the speed of light in a vacuum, but some objects are energetic enough to exceed the speed of light in other medium. This has nothing to do with light from interstellar objects billions of light years away.
Why would the speed of light be an unbreakable barrier?
The answer is because anything that has mass cannot be accelerated past the speed of light. It would take an infinite amount of energy to do so. Light from objects billions of light years away travel through vacuum. Therefore, the speed is constant.
Here's a chart showing that the speed of light has declined in the last 150 years.
The speed of light has not, quote, declined, unquote, ever, let alone in the past 150 years. We did not even have the technology to measure the speed of light accurately 150 years ago. It was not until lasers were invented and mirrors placed on the moon that we got a definitive measurement of light through a vacuum.
About 1960, the chart seems to level off, and everybody since about 1960 has gotten the same number.
Yes, and Reverend Hovind is an ignorant, fucktard wanker. By the mid-1960s, technology finally improved to where we could accurately measure the speed of light in a vacuum. Until that time, it was not possible. Sheesh. And Reverend Hovind uses this fact for what he calls evidence for the mutability of the speed of light ceasing to be mutable. Good bloody gods. It's like, suddenly, as soon as we develop the technology to measure the speed of light stops slowing down. Good gods. And this is the moron who wants Stephen Hawking to waste his time debating this ignorant so-and-so.
The speed of light is not a constant.
No scientist says the speed of light is a constant. However, the speed of light through a vacuum is constant. Hovind's problem with ancient light therefore remains because that light has traveled and is traveling through vacuum.
A light year is a distance, not a time.
A light year is both distance and time. When a supernova explodes, it sends out a few shock waves in 3 steps. Those shock waves propagate at near the speed of light, and there are successive shock waves with time spans of several hundred years in between. If the speed of light was faster in the past, we would observe very different properties of supernova rings built by those shock waves. Anyone interested in the issue may do a Google search on the subject of the speed of light and supernova rings. Note that search should be about supernova rings, not supernova remnants. My next video will conclude the series where I totally and brutally refute Reverend Hovind's bullshit claims about ancient light.